How about the Giants? Speaking of things that mean horribly, how about that Carlos Correa Saga?
Oh, nice segue. That was horrendous.
Oh my God, I'm in mid-season form already.
Carlos Correa. Forgot about that guy.
Yeah, well,
wow.
In my recap of the Giants, first they looked like they were the Aaron Judge favorites, but turned out to just be used.
Oh, that was sad.
Then a story just broke. I don't know if you saw this, like last week, that the drunken sailors, spending like drunken sailor San Diego Padres had apparently offered Judge over $400 million to come there.
Wow.
And he didn't take that. I don't think he ever I mean, and I don't blame him. I don't think he ever wanted to leave New York. He's the king of the town there. Why would you want to leave?
He was leveraging everybody else.
Yeah,
to get more out of him.
Yeah, so he got what he wanted out in New York, and that was good enough. But yeah, that story came out that it was in the Athletic. You should be able to find it. That apparently San Diego had like a huge package to pay him. Apparently they just took that money and applied it to Manny Machado for 11 years and $350 million.
Somehow they've got money. The Cubs,
they got money.
Cubs are struggling somehow,
but kind of similar to the Cubs. So you have the Judge fallout, and then you have the Correa fallout. So what the Giants did is they had a lot of activity.
I think we need to dive deep into the whole Carlos Correa thing. We never talked about that this offseason.
Yeah,
that was the biggest story of the offseason.
Yeah, I mean,
the strangest story.
Yeah, first the Giants back out because of the ankle issue.
Well, before that though, like you were fired up to get him, weren't you? I mean, I was.
Yeah, well, I didn't know anything.
I was
about
jealous.
The ankle issues. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like there was some talk of the ankle injury, but it wasn't so much that you'd worry about a $300 million deal getting scuttled over it. Of course, I've been obsessed with him for years. I wanted him to be on my Tigers. I still wanted him to be part of the Cubs potentially. Do you feel like you dodged a bullet, or
I do? The fact that the Mets then also backed out of the deal.
Well, here's a question for you. The Mets used the exact same doctor that the Giants used. That's the part I don't understand. Like, they didn't get a second opinion. They just used the same opinion to come to the same conclusion. So I'm a little baffled by that part of the story. The other side of that is, I don't know if you saw I watched a lot of stuff at that time when it was so bizarre that the Giants deal was falling apart, and that within a week he was going to be signed by the Mets. So I was watching all sorts of YouTube videos on that, and especially New York, Mets media reactions to all that. I saw not only the Boomer Esiason show in New York, who's, of course, he's a football guy, but he's a Mets fan apparently, and they just do sports talk radio in general in New York. They were convinced that night that they had signed Correa, that Correa was the one that got cold feet and backed out of the deal with the Giants, that he didn't want to be there for all those years and for $300 some million. And I thought, well, that's just Homer sports talk radio, just so giddy about what just fell in their lap. They're going to make any justification, just defying logic. Like, why would Carlos Correa back out of a deal? Why would he get cold feet when they're paying him for the next more than a decade, over $300 million? Why would he ever back out? Then I saw Dan Patrick, national pundit, former ESPN Sports Center legend, has his own huge radio show. I don't think he's a Mets fan, but maybe he is. Who knows? But he said the same thing. He thought that Carlos Correa was the one that got cold feet, and that's why the deal got scuttled. And of course, more has come to light after that. Many different twists and turns have come with this story. But I just thought that was bizarre that Mets fans or anyone, even national pundits, would think that Carlos Correa is the one that backed out of that deal, not the Giants. And this was at the time. This is before he had another deal scuttled, which I think that speaks to homerism more than anything, but I don't know. Did you even see it? Well, I don't think you and I talked about this at all, but did you see those reactions or think that was strange?
No, I didn't see those reactions.
Isn't it obvious that the Giants freaked out and backed out? I mean, there's no other way to interpret that.
There's no baseball player that would walk away from that money because he didn't get that money. In the end, he does not get that money. And he's in fucking Minnesota where the fucking weather sucks for almost the entire year.
So the exact same scenario plays out in New York and using the same doctor. I don't understand that. They scuttled the second deal. So he ends up back in Minnesota, essentially with double what his previous deal was with Minnesota. He had originally a three-year, $100 million deal. Now he's got a $200 million deal over 6 years. And I don't know what his opt-outs are there, but it's just bizarre that we went through all this just to end up right back where he started essentially last year.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm, you know what? If he's going to land up anywhere, I'm happy he ended up with the Twins.
Well,
because he doesn't stay on the fucking field. The guy's played a total of 100 and I was going to talk about this when I thought he was going to be with the Giants, how I have my reservations.
You weren't going to be all gung ho.
No, I was at first. And then I'm I got to look at I got to be fair and balanced. So I'm looking at the fucking stats.
When have you ever been fair and balanced?
Well, sometimes I am. And I'm looking at the stats and I'm like,
whoever said you needed to be, by the way.
I know, right? But I'm looking at the stats and I'm like, what the fuck? This guy's he's played one full season in his entire career. And he averages like 119 games a season.
He's got a tuning fork for an ankle.
Yeah, apparently. And there was that picture of him in the boot at the holidays. He's wearing a fucking boot right after the Giants things happened.
This had never come up before. He had a major ankle injury back in 2014, I guess, but in the minors. And it had never really been an issue. But apparently with like 2 weeks to go in this past season, he slid into second base and tweaked his ankle bad enough where he heard something in it. Like there's a metal plate or something is in his ankle and he felt it and for the first time in a long time, or at least the first time he's spoken about it, which was a bizarre time to start speaking about that just before he's trying to sign $300 million deals. But that was just, that whole story is just crazy to me. You know, he signed 31 years worth of deals for like $850 million. Yeah. People were ready to sign him up. He was going to be set for life and beyond.
Yeah, he'll still do okay even if he ends his career after the 6-year deal with the Mets. I mean, with the Twins. I'm not crying for Carlos Correa at all.
Honestly, but when he lands on 6 years, $200 million. This is where I really wanted the Tigers to be back involved. That's something any club should be able to do. 6 years is not as scary as, you know, the 12 or 13-year deals he had with the Giants and Mets, whatever it was, but 12 and 11. No, I think it was 12 and 13, but
he does have some vesting option that can raise it to 270.
Okay. That sounds like the exact deal that the Tigers offered him, rumored to be 2 years ago. It's $270 million. So that's ironic. So that's just another kick in the balls to me. But of course, you know, if your prediction comes true, and a lot of people is that he's just not going to be healthy enough to earn that money, then we all win. But somehow I have a feeling he's going to be just fine somehow in Minnesota. And it's going to piss me off for 6 more years. But
yeah, I mean, he played 117 games for them last year or something. So
yeah, and they didn't win the division. So
yeah, I mean, they didn't win the division because their 2 key players, Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, can't stay on the fucking field. So
yeah, Buxton will never be healthy. So
happy day here. But anyway, back to the Giants. So we have 2 fallouts basically, right? Two like Giants are gonna boom, and we have 2 fallouts now. Like you said, we'll find out. Did they dodge a bullet? Maybe. Might not find out this year. As we know, the Sox, everyone so many Sox fans thought the Sox made a mistake not signing Carlos Rodon, but it looks like he's up to his old tricks again. starting the season on the IR. So maybe the Giants and Sox have dodged the Carlos Rodon.
What's his issue this time?
Oh, he's got the forearm tightness, which usually
is that the forearm again?
Yeah, like it could be Tommy
dangerous.
John surgery there. So
that's serious danger. I barely recognize him, by the way. I saw him. He had the mustache, which I've never seen because he's with the Yankees now. Of course, you can't be bearded. Yes. Can't be bearded on the White Sox or on the Yankees for some reason. So,
and you have to have like short hair, right? Your hair can
you can't have the crazy length. Josh Donaldson hair. He had to shave that all off.
Reinsdorf has the same thing. Beards are fine, but you can't have extremely long hair on the White Sox.
Beards are fine because Lamar Hoyt had the beard in 1983
with all that cocaine stuck in it.
Set me off as
pitching his ass off.
Yeah, just the annoying beard, the cocaine, those fucking uniforms that are actually cool now, but I hated when I was 10 years old.
Anyway,
so beards will always be cool for Jerry and your White Sox.
But
that's why I shaved down to a chin beard and don't have the full beard anymore, just as a protest.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like your protest. Maybe we'll talk about it more when I see you in person in a few weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, we'll talk, or 2.5 weeks. We'll talk about that.
So kind of like the Cubs, the Giants just then started to fucking sign people, right?
Oh.
So we got Sean Manaea, who is he? Is he the pitcher that struggled down the stretch last year with San Diego with a nearly 5 ERA and horrific playoff appearance? Is that him, or is he the studied pitcher who gets you 6 solid innings a game and minimizes damage? I don't know.
I thought your White Sox should have traded for him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I also thought they should go after Frankie Montas last year, who's now out for the season with the Yankees. So
so maybe
don't listen to me.
Don't listen to you. Then they got the Rogers brothers together, and they got the twins, the
Kenny Rogers,
Taylor and Tyler Rogers are both there now.
I don't even know who that is.
Taylor Rogers. He had 31 saves last year. Sounds really great. They signed him. But his ERA was 4.76. So you take the good with the bad.
Where was he from? I don't even know that name. It's got to be from the West.
Where did he come from?
Nobody knows.
Texas.
Okay. That's probably why I don't know.
After the Judge deal fell through, they immediately signed Mike Haniger. All right. Again, doesn't this sound a lot like the Cubs right now? But the
just to a lower degree.
Yeah, the intriguing signing is the multi-year deal to Michael Conforto.
Yeah, he was the prize for a lot of people coming off the injury. I thought he was going to get signed at the end of last year just to bolster playoff rosters, but he hadn't been healthy enough for that even. So
yeah, so they signed Conforto. He's got solid career numbers.
Solid.
A 25 OPS over his career.
Yeah.
We should take no stock, like you said, in spring training, but I'm gonna be hypocritical now because there's a good sign.
I was way ahead of you.
There's a good sign. He's hit 4 home runs so far this spring and has a 1.172 OPS so far.
We talked about this a little bit on Sox Type Thing last episode, where if you're going to take stock in anything in spring training, I do like to see power out of my hitters. It's better than not seeing any power out of your hitters.
Or only one hit, I guess you're saying.
Or one hit. So yeah, I think seeing 4 home runs out of somebody is a positive. I don't think you can bank on that. I mean, we saw Pudge Rodriguez lead the minors, was it 12 years ago? More than that, with like 11 home runs, or he led spring training in home runs that one year and did nothing. Later on. So that was after he was off the roids, I think. But
roids. Yeah, roids. That's a great story. So I don't know. Like the Giants too, kind of like the Cubs. I got to give them a C.
Okay.
I'd give them a B for effort. They were they legitimately went after Judge, and
they were willing
to spend. They had Correa. They were willing to. there's a willingness to spend the money at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, again, the Correa deal, we'll figure it out, but whatever. We'll see how this year plays out. The only good, I had some good news. So I give them a C. The good news for the Giants though is there's issues with their main foes. Dodgers lost Gavin Lux for the season. So that's a blow to them. He was supposed to be starting. He was the starter now. And the Padres have lost Joe Musgrove to a broken toe for he's not going to be able to break the season with them. So
yeah, it's crazy.
There's opportunity. There's opportunity there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I kind of wanted to bring that up on Sox Life thing. Maybe I'll do this next time. But the idea that Elvis Andrus, if he had waited 2 weeks, he wouldn't be the White Sox second baseman. He'd be the fucking Dodgers shortstop.
That's true. I don't know. Timmy's been playing second base for USA. I wonder what's going to happen.
They could swap, yeah, just like you said all along.
Yep.
Wow. Well, we'll talk about
maybe I am Nostradamus.
Well, you definitely are that.
I'm a dumbass.
There's no doubt. So.
But who knows? Like, I think the Giants will be watchable. But I think ultimately, much like last year, they might come out like gangbusters, but then slowly fade into the distance. So, I mean, I anticipate the rookies being a little bit better again this year. Again, it's spring training, but Joey Bart's looked a lot better at the plate so far. So, I don't know. Hey,
we'll get deeper into the predictions.
I'll be at a Giants White Sox game on Thursday, March 6th. So, I mean, April 6th, the opening series. How weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sox first homestand, homestand
is divided.
The Giants. Yeah. My brother texts me. He's like, hey, who you rooting for in the Giants Sox series? The Giants? Ha ha ha. And I said, well, we'll see how they each do in their opening series, and then I'll decide.
You'll make a choice at that point. Just wear a bunch of Cubs gear to the game and make a decision later.
You don't have to worry about that. You do not have to worry about that.
Word Hole Media.